A man finally meets the love of his life, only to discover that she's his long-lost sister. In Indiana, Gilly Noble drives up to a chicken farm, where he sets down a cage with a cat inside and opens one of its doors. Soon enough, the stray cat from the farm approaches the other cat and gets trapped in the cage. After this, he heads back to the animal shelter where he works. There he discovers that the stray cat has a name tag identifying him as Ringo. Later, his boss Larry asks him to join his family for dinner to appease his wife, who's angry at him since he missed her birthday dinner last night. Gilly suggests giving his wife a puppy, but the man insists on bringing him. With no choice, Gilly joins his boss's family for dinner, but things get awkward quickly as the couple and their kids argue. The next day, Larry and Gilly head to the diner as the former complains about his family. Concerned, Gilly advises his boss to see a therapist, but the man doesn't take this seriously. Just then, their friend Stuart shows off his odd haircut, claiming that it was done by the most beautiful woman on earth. Curious, Gilly later peeks into the hair salon and spots the new stylist Joe. He immediately falls in love with her, so he joins a long line of men waiting to get their haircut from her. While getting his haircut, he tries to get to know her, so Joe shares how she's originally from this town but moved to Oregon. She returned to help out her father, who's now paralyzed after a stroke. He soon finds that Joe is clumsy when she nearly rips part of his hair and stabs his cheek with a pair of scissors. Still, as he looks into her eyes, he's stunned. Noticing her photo with her pet on the table, he asks about her cat, but Joe shares that he ran away 2 weeks ago. When she mentions that her cat's name is Ringo, he recalls the stray cat he captured yesterday. Upon realizing that he found her cat, Joe accidentally cuts part of his ear, sending Gilly to the hospital later on. To make up for hurting him, Joe invites him for dinner at her house so he can also bring in her cat. While she cooks dinner later, Joe's mother Valdine discourages her from entertaining an animal catcher when she can get back together with her rich ex-boyfriend Jack. Soon, Gilly arrives with Ringo, so Joe introduces him to her father Walter, who's immobile and uses a vocalator machine to speak. During dinner, Valdine makes passive comments about Gilly's awful job. He clarifies that he's working at the animal shelter since he's aiming to be a veterinarian. Valdine remains unimpressed, but Joe is clearly interested. The next day, Gilly meets with Detective Vic, whom he hired to find his birth mother. However, when the man presents him with a picture of his supposed mother, he doubts him, given their difference in ethnicity. That evening, Gilly has dinner with Joe at the shelter's rooftop and shares that he's trying to find his biological family. The woman encourages him about his search, though the man notices that she's distracted. Joe admits that being there reminds her of their family dog who had to be put down. She still mourns for the dog, and Gilly sympathizes with this, explaining that he wished he could take care of the animals that were put to sleep there. He even wrote a poem to read to the dogs and cats before they're put to sleep and gives them a one-gun salute with an empty pistol. Hearing this poem, Joe falls for him, and the two kiss. For 6 months, the couple happily spend their days together. Their happiness convinces Gilly to settle down with his beloved, but Joe starts talking about how she's comfortable not taking their relationship too seriously. Realizing that she's not ready, Gilly distracts her with a kiss as the plane he rented with his proposal banner passes by them. However, Joe reveals that the plane he rented is her uncle's, so she already knows about his plans and tells him that she wants to marry him. As the two celebrate their engagement in bed later, Vic calls Gilly, announcing that he found his mother and it's Valdine. This immediately puts a strain on the couple's relationship. They confront Valdine about this the next day, so she confesses that she got pregnant right after Joe was born. Since they were struggling financially, she and her husband decided to put the new baby up for adoption. As the idea that they've been intimate with their sibling sinks in, Joe becomes nauseated while Gilly is frozen in shock. 16 months later, the news about their relationship got Gilly fired, leading him to a depressed state and working with Stuart. One day, he rereads the letter Joe left for him before she moved back to Oregon. She mourned how things were going well for them, but all came crashing in an instant. Because of this, she couldn't face him anymore. Heartbroken, the man discards the letter. He soon heads to his parents' home as he had been living with them. Valdine treats him lovingly to make up for lost time, though Walter is still abrasive towards him. Just then, Joe calls and announces that she's getting married to Jack. This excites her mother while breaking Gilly's heart further. When the wedding invitations arrive, Valdine encourages Gilly to be happy for Joe since she's marrying a millionaire and running her own parlor. The doorbell rings and a man named Leon introduces himself to Valdine as her long-lost son. He proves this with the documents he'd found, including hospital records and blood tests. Because of this, Valdine and Walter immediately throw Gilly out of the house, calling him a liar. Despite this, Gilly finds new hope and gets cleaned up before leaving Indiana. He drives to Oregon for days, hoping he hasn't lost his chance to be with Joe. One night, however, he accidentally runs over a man standing in the middle of the road. The man, Dig, commands him to fetch his prosthetic legs, which got damaged during the accident. Gilly is then forced to give the man a ride, who apparently stood in the road to get his attention. He reveals that he's a pilot whose plane ran out of fuel, forcing him to land in a nearby clearing. The two arrive in Oregon in the morning, where Dig tells the man that he owes him for taking him there. He also warns Gilly to get out of the town quickly since people with money control things there. Unbeknownst to them, Valdine calls the town's police station and claims that Gilly is a dangerous criminal. Officer Gina answers her call, so Valdine asks the woman to be discreet to avoid alarming Joe, who's busy with her big wedding. Despite this, Gina soon sets up wanted posters around town with Gilly's face. Joe sees this, so she calls her mother, complaining about letting her supposed brother go there. Since she wants her daughter to continue her wedding with Jack, Valdine lies that Gilly went mad and told everyone that someone named Leon is her brother, not him. The woman asserts that this is all imaginary. Elsewhere, Joe's fiancé Jack approaches a homeless man to offer him a hotel room and a job. He claims that it's his way to give back to the people after he inherited most of his money from his father. Afterward, Gina approaches Jack and invites him to have coffee with her, adding that she wants to talk about his fiancé. When Jack arrives home later, he orders his brother Jimmy and the man's friends Freddie and Streak to make Gilly disappear. Because of this, the trio knock the man out just before he goes to Joe's parlor. Soon, Gilly wakes up and finds himself on a plane to Mexico. 2 days later, Valdine and Walter drop Leon off at a motel outside of town, explaining that he can't be seen until after Joe's wedding. In the meantime, the mother orders him to find Gilly and keep him away from his sister. At Jack's house, Joe finds her fiancé in the hot tub. He invites her to join him, but she plans to run errands for their wedding. Once she leaves, Gina surfaces from under the water, revealing that the man is cheating. In the afternoon, Jack welcomes his future in-laws to his home while Gilly finally returns to town. Knowing that people are out to get him, he keeps his head low and tries to sneak into Joe's parlor from the back. However, another worker recognizes him from the wanted posters, so Gilly leaves. Using discarded hair from the parlor's garbage bin, he disguises himself before heading to a pub. There, he finds Dig and asks him for help in finding his truck, which he left behind when he got abducted. However, the pilot reveals that his truck was destroyed during a charity event that Jack held. Giving up on his vehicle, Gilly then asks Dig to help him stop Joe from marrying Jack. But the man and the other patrons defend that the rich guy is a good person. He even insists that Joe is lucky to be marrying him, so Gilly should let her go. The next day, Joe's co-worker calls her to inform her that Gilly was there. Because of this, the woman searches for him. She finds him heading out of town, so she picks him up. Joe quickly tells him that they can't be together, and when Gilly recalls Dig's words to him, he accepts that he has to let her go. The woman soon drops him off at the bus station, and the heartbroken man tells her he loves her before exiting the vehicle. Regretfully, she utters that she loves him too, then drives away in tears. While Gilly waits to get on a bus, a young man snatches his ticket, forcing him to chase after him. The kid leads him to a secluded garage, where Dig meets with the heartbroken man. With no one to eavesdrop on them this time, the pilot finally reveals that Jack is evil. He takes the man to his house, where Dig explains that Jack inherited millions from his father and has been making more money by growing illegal plants. Jack ensures that the police will never investigate their town by keeping the residents here happy, hence his charitable facade. Most people are also under his payroll, while the rest are scared to go against him. With that in mind, Gilly insists on saving Joe from him. Before they can plan something, Jimmy and his friends arrive. The thugs take Gilly into the woods to beat him up, but Jimmy accidentally hits Streak instead. This allows their captive to escape into the river. The next day, Gilly and Dig prepare a banner to tell Joe that the former is not her brother. They then set off using Dig's plane, unaware that a branch rips the word "not" from the banner. Because of this, when they fly the banner over Joe's house, the woman is convinced that the man is troubled. The two soon land the plane, but police officers immediately arrest Gilly and admit him to a psychiatric facility. During his stay, he finds that Streak is also there after suffering the head injury from Jimmy. However, the thug thinks that Gilly was the one who hit him. He then tries to sell him the Polaroids that Jimmy took of Joe, but Gilly takes them, appalled that they took pictures of his beloved without her knowing. This leads Streak to tackle him, and the fight gets Gilly put into isolation. To his surprise, Dig breaks into his padded room to rescue him. As they drive back into town, a car passes them, and Gilly recognizes the driver as Leon. They follow the man and discover that he's staying at the motel. With only 3 hours before Joe's wedding, Dig orders Gilly to take the woman there to let her meet her real brother and clear things up. In the meantime, he'll ensure Leon doesn't get away. With that, Gilly drives back to town alone but gets blocked by a herd of cows. While trying to push them out of the way, he gets his hand stuck in one of the cows just as the herd finally moves. Meanwhile, Dig finds Leon leaving his motel room, so he tries to stop him. However, the man discovers that he has prosthetic legs, so he removes them and throws them away to prevent the pilot from chasing after him. Elsewhere, the herd walks into town, putting Gilly in another embarrassing situation. Joe sees him, so he uses this chance to reveal that Leon is real and is at the motel. However, the woman begs him to stop, still convinced that he's crazy. She asserts that she wants a family with Jack before storming off. Soon the wedding starts. Joe enthuses how her father will get better medical care in town, and her mother won't have to overwork anymore. Hearing this, Walter asks if this is what his daughter wants. She hesitates before answering that this marriage is a great thing for them. While trying to catch a ride out of town again, Gilly gets cornered by Streak, who escaped the facility using his beaten-up truck. He holds him at gunpoint, demanding for the photos he stole. Gilly quickly surrenders them, but Streak also steals his ring before knocking him out. Meanwhile, as the wedding proceeds, Walter suddenly asks for the ceremony to be stopped, finally accepting that his daughter is still in love with Gilly. However, before he can say anything further, his wife removes his vocalator to keep him quiet. Elsewhere, Leon spots Gilly's truck heading back into town, not knowing that Streak is the one driving it. He crashes his car against his to stop him from interrupting his sister's wedding. This causes the truck's fuel tank to leak and explode. At the wedding reception, Valdine chains her husband's wheelchair to prevent him from convincing Joe to return to Gilly. Despite this, the man forces himself to get out of the chair. Suddenly, the police arrive to report that Gilly's truck exploded. The body they found was burned beyond recognition, but they're sure it was Gilly, given the ring they found on the corpse. The sheriff also reveals that they've arrested Leon, who caused the accident. The man calls Valdine his mother, begging her for help and claiming that he was just following Gilly like she asked him to. Walter then arrives, finally on his feet, and declares that Leon is Joe's real brother. He explains that they kept it a secret because his wife insists on dipping into Jack's fortune. Tearfully, Joe confronts her mother, who still thinks it was for the best since Gilly was a nobody. To make matters worse, Walter also reveals that Jack paid Vic to tell Gilly that they're his biological parents to break the couple apart. Betrayed, Joe storms off. With her plan ruined, Valdine takes her anger out on her real son, but the strain causes her to have a stroke. The next day, Gilly finally awakens in the woods and goes to Dig's house, who's surprised to see him alive. He learns that everyone thinks he's dead, but he accepts this, thinking that it'll let Joe finally move on with her life. With that, Gilly hitches a ride on Dig's plane to head back to Indiana, unaware that Joe is driving there too. When she arrives, she goes to the animal shelter's rooftop and recites Gilly's poem with a pistol in her hand. Coincidentally, Gilly and Larry drive up to the parking lot, with the latter giving the younger man's job back after learning the truth. Gilly sees Joe on the roof's ledge, thinking that she's about to end her own life. He rushes to stop her, only to hear a gunshot and have ashes dumped on him. Joe finally sees him, and the two reunite with a kiss. The woman explains that she was giving him the one-gun salute, thinking that she was carrying his ashes. With everything cleared up, the town celebrates Gilly and Joe's wedding months later. Among the guests are a recovered Walter and a now disabled Valdine. Vic suddenly pulls the newlyweds away, claiming that he finally found Gilly's biological mother. He insists that he's sure this time since he's gotten documents and DNA evidence. With that, he opens the door of a limousine where Suzanne Summers, Gilly's celebrity crush, steps out. As the woman hugs him, Gilly realizes that he used to fantasize about his own mother.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.